Hey,
Hey, how are you?
all right. Been a while, huh?
I know.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Miss Alexia.
Yes.
She's my
I
friend since,
haven't seen you in a while, Dawn. I'm so happy to see you because you look so good.
really? I'm just
Yeah.
I'm just a mom now. But yeah, we haven't seen each other since 2017.
Yeah, pretty much.
My
And I
where I
was going, yeah, I was going through like a drug addiction and stuff and a
you
lot of
over
things.
it? You over it now?
Yeah, finally. I got in a methadone clinic and I got out and finally I'm off. I'm like, thank God.
You got to talk louder because I'm deaf as fuck from all those concerts. But so you think that like how did that happen that you got interested into drugs?
I think it started from, I really think it started from me trying to self-medicate myself, you know, which happens a lot with especially like younger people when they, haven't really lived their lives and they don't know what's out there, they don't know anything, and they just really, really, really need to talk to someone.
Yeah.
And they don't have anyone to talk to. They're trying to be cool with their friends, and only thing that their friends offer like is like, oh, take this and it's going to make you feel better. So when I started I was like 24 or 20, like I'm 27 right now, so that was in 2017, so that was, oh wow, I was 21. So yeah, mostly people were like, um that's going to numb your pain, and if you ever want to come out of it, you can just like take Suboxone or whatever, and it's gonna be over like this. And you don't have to like, they never told me about like the side effects, withdrawals, all of that shit. So
Did
once I was
someone,
a,
did one particular person try to get you hooked on it? Like, hey, do it with me.
yeah, my boy, the guy that I was dating at the time, yeah, he was like, he was not even the fact that he was like, he was like, hey, do it with me. More like I was watching him do it. And I thought, wow, he's really, really like, he doesn't feel things like, which is good. Support, like I thought it was good because I didn't want to feel things. I was like really in love. And
But if you
like,
were really in love, how come love wasn't enough?
because he was addicted and he wasn't there. So basically I was in love with a zombie. I was in love with a person who wasn't there. So it was in a way one-sided love because I was in love and he was asleep all day and high. So it's like,
What was attractive about him? Was he physically attractive?
no, I think the thing that he opened up with me, he really was like, he was the one of the few people who like really, really opened up to me. And he was like, uh, he wasn't like putting on a mask or like all those like huge boundaries, like, not even boundaries, but like, they put up huge walls in front of
Yeah.
you and they don't want to like let
He was
them down.
vulnerable. He was
He was
vulnerable.
very vulnerable, yeah. And she was like, I felt like depressed, I felt suicidal, and this is like 36-year-old men telling me all of this. And I was like, wow, like he really let me in.
Hmm.
And I was like so appreciative of that. I never had that before because usually before everyone is trying to like play this strong character that like they're like, invincible and things like that. And I was like, and I don't know. Slowly yeah, I got into it.
Well, you
And
look really healthy. I mean, look good.
well, I've been off of it for a while,
Yeah, I
Thank
was really
God.
worried about you for a while. Remember I was pretty tough with you.
Yeah, I remember you called me. I told you about it, and you were like, because you were going through something that time too, and you were like, forget about me. It's just like, take care of yourself. And
Yeah,
I
no,
was,
but I know that I'm tough with people who do drugs. I'm like, get over it, stop it, get help. And I also was telling you stuff like you spent all of this effort to look beautiful and you're ruining it with drugs, remember?
Yeah.
But so that people who are watching this understand you're from Georgia, right?
Yes, I'm from Georgia.
Not
And,
Atlanta, the country Georgia.
yeah, in the country, Georgia. And yeah, we have the we did the same interview and that's how we met. I mean, we didn't do the same interview, but Dot was like obviously you were like with the president of Georgia. And then something like that, like through a hairstylist, right? Which is a crazy story. Like I've never like sometimes when I think about it, I'm like, what are the chances of two people going in New York City, like biggest city in US, like biggest city in the world, like in a way, one of the biggest cities in the world, and like the same hairstylist literally tells you my story. Wow.
Yeah, so that people understand. In 2015, I was getting extensions in my hair in Manhattan to do a television commercial for Buick. And I was sitting there. It's really tedious to get extensions, right? You're
I
sitting there
know.
for hours. And the hairdresser, this very attractive black girl, she was like, "So what do you do for a living?" And I'm like, "Well, I massage celebrities." She goes, "Oh, really? Who have you massaged?" So I was showing her in my phone, a BlackBerry at the time, who I have massaged. And I was scrolling past like Sting, Mariah Carey, Aerosmith and Simon Cowell. I go, "Oh, but this is the president of Georgia. You don't know him. Forget him." And she goes, "No, no, no. Scroll back. I know." I go, "You know who that is? Like, who the fuck knows who Misha Saskavili is?" I can't even say his name right. I go, "He's pretty famous in Europe." But she goes, "No, I know him because another one of my clients who I do her hair, she had an affair with him." I go, "Stop, stop. What? Come again?" "Yeah. And she is a transgender." I'm like, "Am I on candid camera? Because I really
You're
I
like, that's a story.
I said I go, "Please, I want to see." She goes, "Oh, well, we're not talking now," because she gave me a negative review on Yelp.
She did my hair horribly. By the way, her hair, the way she did, like, the way she did my hair, can you hear me?
She ruined your hair.
Okay, I don't know how, like, because I've been doing hair, like, I don't have hair extensions now because they really damage your hair, but um, I've been over, like, I know that craft, like in Russia, they do hair extensions
Your hair looks
amazingly.
great now.
Yeah. Well, I grew it out. Finally, it's like my hair, but like
Wow.
the ends are like, but
That's
it's
all
like
your
thin,
hair?
without extensions, they're thin. You can see
That's
how
your
thin.
hair?
Yeah, see?
Oh my God. That looks beautiful. Would you should just go dark one time. Why not?
I want to go dark. Yeah, I'm going dark slowly, but honestly, but without extensions, still it's thin. So I kind of want to add a little bit of extension, but they ruin your hair. So the thing is that I told her that, because still, Georgia, Russia, like all those countries are still, we have like light hair there, like light meaning not thick. Like people from other countries like India, they have very thick hair. So I was like, make sure the hair is a good quality because if you give me thick hair, my hair is gonna like just like fall.
It's gonna look weird.
She gave me the worst quality hair, like literally the worst quality hair, meaning that like shit. Like it was like so bad. I remember like it would tangle. Like and I didn't pay like she charged me a lot, I remember. Like she wasn't like cheap. But
Yeah.
she would buy and then later, like finding more and more out about this business, I realized that she literally sold us Dot like the cheapest hair from the market. Like literally, she bought like her hair for $100 and made us pay 1,000. Like she did like 110 of a profit. You know how people do like like people buy something for 100 and sell it for 200, or people buy something for 100 and sell it, okay, maximum for 500. She
Yeah.
literally bought it for 100 and sold it to us for like 10 times this price.
Yeah, it was
That's
really
like,
tangy.
that's why I was like, I'm giving you a negative review. And she was like, only way I'm gonna take away the review. She was like, she was like, please give me another chance. And I went back to her and she was like, let me give you this creams and stuff. And she put those creams, which were like totally useless, because what are you gonna do with the horse? Some of my friends actually thought it was a horse tail. I'm not joking.
It felt like a horse tail.
I, I'm not joking. My friends thought it was a horse tail. They're like, my friends are like, girl, like that hairstyle is totally just like, cut it from a horse and like attach it to you.
Okay, okay. So you gave her a bad review. I said, please let me see the bad review. And then I saw your Yelp profile and I was like, I wrote to you a private message and I said,
On
nobody,
Yelp, yeah.
I said nobody checks their Yelp messages, right? So I've said, hey, you don't know me, but my name's Dr. Dot and we
But
have
guess what? I knew you from what only reason I replied to you is because I knew you, because I remember the like posters growing
posters
up in
all,
Georgia,
yes.
all over Georgia, posters with you and Misha. So I was like, wait a
Oh, wait,
second.
wait. So that's the picture of me and the president of Georgia. And the opposition took that photograph from my blog and had it made into posters and plastered it all over the Capitol. Stop.
Is that
What she's talking about, I think it was 2008 or 9.
yeah.
2000, I went to the country Georgia with the president of Georgia on his private jet, and I was there for 2 weeks massaging him every day. And I was very naive. I was writing everything on a blog, what I was doing. Just, I was writing a blog for a decade and his opposition saw my blog and used it to attack him, like, why is our president flying a big titted American over to Georgia to massage him when he could use one of our massage therapists? So they took the picture of me and the president and plastered it all over Tbilisi, Georgia. That's what she's talking about.
It was all over the Capitol. I just remember growing up and going to school and growing up. I just remember it was all over the city, like tens of thousands of those pictures, like just like put like everywhere. So you couldn't just like get away from it. Like, see, yeah, it's all over. So when you texted me on Yelp, which is really weird too, but I love Yelp because I love reviewing things and
Me
stuff.
too.
And
You probably
you
thought to
probably
yourself, this is a joke. This is not really her messaging me.
no, I was just like, no, I remember I clicked on your profile. It was legit. It wasn't like, like not legit profiles have like two or three like
It's my real
reviews.
picture. It's my real picture.
Yeah, it was your real picture and it looked like a legit profile because like there are like so many things there, like activities and stuff.
So
And
many bad reviews.
I was like, oh my God, I know you who you are. So I was like, and because you're also like texting me about Misha, I was like, was she,
Misha is a nickname that we use for the president of Georgia. His name is
yeah.
Michal, right?
His name is Mikhail, but like
Michael.
Michael, but Mikhail, it's in like, like, but like Michael, but
But we call
Mikhail,
him Misha.
you know, his nickname is Misha, yeah.
Right, right. So
So
anyhow, we
that's how
started,
we met.
we wanted to meet each other. We
Yeah.
wanted to
So
meet.
you came to LA
I came to
for,
Los Angeles, right? You got to talk louder. I
yeah.
came to LA to do the Buick commercial.
Let me get a charger 1 second so my phone doesn't want, while you explain it to them, it's like
Okay.
right there.
All right.
Just explain to them about your
Okay.
commercial.
Okay. Okay. So while Alexia is getting her charger, so in 2015, Buick flew me to Los Angeles to film a TV commercial for them called the Happiness Test Drive, where I showed drivers how to do a self massage to avoid road rage. Right. So I showed drivers how to do a test massage. You can look on YouTube, Dr. Buick test massage. I mean, I did a commercial for Buick. So they flew me out there and they paid all of my expenses. And I brought a girlfriend from London. I said I needed an assistant with me. So we met Alexia at a Beverly Hills hotel. And we got along instantly. It was just, we
Like,
had so much to talk about. We had to
did you
gossip.
tell them? Did you tell them how? Wait, I'm back. By the
Yeah,
way,
she's kind of back.
hi. Did you tell them how we met at a hotel
Yeah,
and
that's
you
what,
were yeah, that
that's
was
what I
our
was
first
saying.
meeting. It was like so crazy because like I remember you literally arrived and you're like, I'm doing this commercial, and you had no idea about like LA that much, you know?
No,
And
because I
and
don't care about those VIP parties. And you brought us to a VIP party and you looked beautiful
yeah.
in an
And
elegant
back
dress.
back then I was like so into LA and stuff and parties and this and that. And I'm like, where are we going? Which party? And like you actually went to a really good party because like didn't like there were like a couple of celebrities there. And it was like
If there's no
fun. And
karaoke, I'm not interested, but
yeah, I know.
everybody knew you. Everybody knew you, mostly
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, we went to like this we went to a lot of places. But you literally told me that I don't know, it was just like so magical. I don't know. It was like I was like it was something out of a like science fiction because you guys got to imagine like I grew up in a country and that is like my president. Like it's like for Dot, it like wasn't anyone special, but for me, it was like it was like imagine you grew up in America and you like you met like literally when you were growing up, who was the president? Like literally in your high school year.
Well, there was Jimmy Carter and then Bush. Um,
Yeah. So like imagine like Bush or someone. Um, it's much more big of a deal. So the same for me because it's like wow. So I was like, wow, I want to do this and let's do the
well,
and then
then,
with the
okay, so this is, so then I realized Alexia has an extremely unique story. I mean, the press was hounding me. The Russian press was hounding me a lot because they hated Misha. That's the nickname for the president of Georgia. They loved me. They considered me some kind of star because, unfortunately, because of my massages with the president, he was impeached. Yeah, they used that as an excuse, like politicians do. They
he
exaggerate.
wasn't really impeached, but like his term was up, and then they used one of your stories just to make sure he never returned back to Georgia. And if he ever
I
returned
mean,
back,
they banned him from the country.
yes, and if he ever returned to Georgia, they used your story as proof that he wasted government money on pleasure, which is like a criminal offense, and you go to jail. And that's why he's in jail now. But one of those stories, he did many other things too. That's what I'm saying.
So Russian TV was always calling me and paying me, 1,000, because I lived at the time in Berlin and America, back and forth, Germany and America, back and forth. So Russian TV was giving me 1,000 euros here to talk and this and that. And I liked Misha. He was friendly to me. He was fun to hang out with, by the way. He was fucking
He was
hilarious.
a really good guy. Yeah,
He's a
kind
good
of feel
guy.
bad.
I
Yeah.
don't know anything about his politics. I didn't try to get him in trouble. It was an accident. My blog, I didn't even say anything bad on the blog. I always blogged about who I was massaging. I don't anymore. So I thought to myself, what if I get the Russian media to interview Alexia? That would be the biggest story in the world, wouldn't it? I mean, hello. So let me get here. Let me explain some things. Alexia hung out with the president's son when she was at school. And then when she grew up, she met him in New York. The president, you met him in Brooklyn, right?
So he has an apartment, and that's one of those other things that like Russians were kind of interested in because he had an apartment in Williamsburg. Not an apartment, but a penthouse, like
Yeah.
three-story penthouse. And I just hit him up on Facebook because one of my friends was like, and he was Georgian too. So he was like, our president is here. Like his term was over, but he was like in New York and like he was like, you can just hit him up and he likes girls, like he likes young girls. So I was like, let
But he
me
was
try. Why
married.
not?
That's the thing. he was married to a Dutch lady, but he
But
said
he was married, yeah. But you know, guys cheat, and that's not a news. So
it's true.
everybody cheats. So especially in Georgia. So and finally they I hit him up and I wasn't expecting a reply, nothing, but he replied right away. Like he was like,
Did you write to
"Hey,
him? Did you write to him in Georgian?
no English." I literally pretended like I knew nothing about Georgia.
Oh,
Only thing I said was, only thing I said was that my heritage is like Georgian. And but I was born in the United States, so I want to get like I want to like just get close to my
yeah,
heritage. I wanted to interview you for my university. You know, I go to
like
college
a
here,
clean slate.
and just making up some story. But nothing just wanted to because I knew that if I was like I'm Georgian, blah blah, then he would be like, oh my God, like they're trying to set me up or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. And he replied to me right away. And I think the next day we met. He like literally picked me up with his driver right here where I live now, but I moved a street down. So still in financial district, but he picked me up on Water Street and Wall Street. So and I remember the first thing he said was like, wow. And I was like so scared because I didn't want him to like recognize me or something. And as soon as he said like wow and stuff, like he wouldn't have been like as long
Said,
as I
wow,
wasn't
you're
recognized.
beautiful.
Yeah, he was like, wow, you're so beautiful. But I was like kind of like in my like inner thing, I was like, what if he like recognized? But then again, I was like, recognizes me from where? It's not like he ever came to school for his sons, like, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh,
So
plus you look a lot different. At school, you were still a guy.
yeah, I
Right.
know. So I went to his place and then he gave me some strong wine. I don't know whether there was anything in there,
He
but it was
did that
strong.
to me too.
I know you said that, and I was like, that's such a big like
Isn't that called,
revelation.
what is it called in English in America?
Roofie,
A
roofie,
roofie.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He put one in my drink too. And I don't
I
even
think he
drink.
definitely roofie does, yeah.
He made me do that in Georgia. He's like told me that if I don't drink his cognac, that it's rude. And I go, I don't even drink. And I was
He told me the same thing. He was like, you gotta drink this Georgian wine. Like, you gotta do it. It's one of the best in the world. You gotta do it. But it was like strong. And
yeah.
I don't know, like
I
maybe
had like that much and I was hallucinating. I was
I
like,
I I'm yeah, I didn't have the full one either. And I just remember I was like, maybe not hallucinating, but I just remember like this out of body experience in a way. Like I was just like, I thought I
that's
was
what I
not in my
mean.
body.
Yeah. Like
Like,
no control. Weird.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I felt like if you take like strong Xanax and you haven't taken
And
it
then
for
the
a while.
next morning when I woke up, I was like, was all that a dream? Like
Yeah,
it made me like have to think really what happened and stuff. It was so the weirdest thing. And
yeah, it was weird.
when I
Definitely.
was
It wasn't normal.
17, I was I sick 16? I was 16 or 17. I did LSD with the Grateful Dead one time. I did LSD with the singer of the Grateful Dead, and I tripped my brains out for 3 days. But the thing that the president of Georgia gave me in that cognac was way stronger,
Really?
way stronger. I was fucking yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think you put something in there because
Oh,
there's no
absolutely.
way from one glass of wine I would get
I
that.
had I had cognac. Like he made his maid. He had a maid in his vacation home in Batumi, Georgia, and
Yeah,
he brought me up to the top of that house, and he's like, "Oh, my maid is going to make us a drink, a nightcap," and I'm like, "I don't drink alcohol," and he's like, "Oh no, you have to drink this because it's very very rude to not drink our native cognac." You have to drink the cognac. It's made here in Georgia, and it's very, very rude if you don't have a little bit, just a little bit, like that much. And I've never even tried cognac before, and I drank it, and I was fucking wasted, wasted.
I
Yeah,
know. And then we did an interview, right? Like, and We
Did you
didn't
mention
even,
it? Okay, okay. So we I got you an interview with the Russian press,
yeah.
and they were very sneaky. They went behind my back and went to her, but we evened it out. Me and Alexia are fine. So fuck R1 or whatever company that was, because the deal
It
was
was NTV, right?
hmm?
NTV.
NTV. I don't know which one it was. No, it was R1, wasn't it? It was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. So the deal was $60,000 cash or 50,000 cash or something like that. And I was like, I want 10% of that. And so they went behind my
You know
back.
where six it was 67.
Yeah. Anyways, they were supposed to give me 10% for the finder's fee because I was like, this is the biggest story you've ever heard in your fucking life. Okay. And they're like, oh my God, Dr. Dot, thank you. And then they went behind my back and found her number and tried to fuck me over.
Yeah.
But we're
Because
friends anyway.
they kept telling me, we're gonna leave. We're gonna leave. And you kept telling me they're not gonna leave. Don't worry, they came all the way from Russia. Like they're not leaving
No, no,
without.
we were supposed to do this. Um, your
We're
free
supposed to do
meeting.
it on Monday or Saturday or something like that. And you told me you had a person to take care of your
No,
kid
no,
and
no,
you
no, no. It was supposed to be a Saturday thing, and they met you
yeah,
on a Friday. They did it behind my back. Um,
because
assholes.
they said that they would like leave
I
if
know
we
they were
did.
trying to pressure you. They're trying
Yeah.
to pressure you like they do. They tried to pressure me. They flew me to Russia in 2017. Anyway,
Remember, like I literally called you from a hotel and I was like, they are not turning off the camera.
yeah,
And you called the hotel security and they came up and they're like,
yeah,
Sam,
yeah.
they wouldn't
We
turn
have
off the camera. That's one of the
we
other
have
things. They
we have so
wouldn't
many
turn off.
stories, huh?
Oh my God. They literally tortured me. Like they wouldn't turn off. Once the camera, I didn't even know this, but before even the camera was on, the camera was on. So like the moment I stepped in there, I was like, because some things I was just like telling them, like everything was on. They were recording everything I was saying. I was telling them, should I do this? Should it like recording everything? And
Well, they
it's like,
wanted to, they wanted to get their money's worth. Um,
yeah.
so, anyways, do people still reach out and I still have people from Georgia following me on Instagram, Facebook.
I had people from Russia reach out to me. And I
Good.
know you had it too, because like
Oh yeah.
you know, they wanted us to be like on the same like but the thing is that
Oh yeah, they invited us both on the same show, but you didn't go in
yeah, I didn't
2017. So they had some Russian bimbo try to look like you with a
look
fake,
like me, yeah.
a blonde wig, and she did not look good at all, and her story wasn't believable at all. It was kind of
She
a
was like, he bought me a Porsche. And it was so funny because like then they asked you something and you were like so much cooler because you're like, I buy myself gifts because like I'm a like, and I was like, he bought you a Porsche. Like Misha is not like that. Like he doesn't buy just random
he's
he didn't
hey, he's
like
I'm not saying he's a cheapskate, but I'm saying he's very frugal.
yeah, I mean like he never got me a Porsche and I met him like 5 times and you met him so much. And you could tell that bitch never met his ass in his
Uh,
life.
I was like, where's your pictures with him? How come you have no pictures with him? But the name of the show, or they hooked us up. It was a game show. They hooked me up to a lie detector test, and they hooked her up.
It's not real, right? Because on the phone they told me that they can fake anything. Like they're
Right.
like, what if I answer and like it's not true? They're like, don't worry, we don't do like they're like
Well, I mean, but they loved me. I mean, I liked Moscow. I had a great time. I went out to
Moscow is
karaoke.
beautiful. And I went to Moscow then and then I started my puppy business from there.
I liked it. I would go back. I would go back just for the karaoke. It was fucking fun. Sorry, I still have like
But
cough and
that
cold on.
Russian bimbo that they brought out, how I kind of felt like too the same way. They kind of wanted her to look like me, and I was like, this bitch doesn't look like me. And I was like,
It wasn't even her real hair. It was like literally a wig, and she was boring and ugly, but they couldn't get you, so they created a you. And I was like,
you know, and why I didn't come? Because my mom literally told me, she was like, you do this one more time. Because you know how Georgians are still like scared and like they're like, he's gonna come back to power and he's gonna punish us. And my mom is still like, you have to understand, my mom was born in the Soviet Union. Like that's like Stalin and shit. Like,
Yeah.
like it was like KGB and like spying on you and like
Kind of like what America is right now.
yeah. So like kind of like I mean everyone is spying on our phones right now and everyone's reading our messages and you literally have to like I don't know,
Hmm.
kind of like China.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's like
yeah, they're taking, I mean, the whole
but
world
the
is,
world is like that now. Yeah. So my mom was like, don't do it. Don't do it. Like I'll pay. Like she was just like she was asking me so much. And they didn't even offer it as much that time, like they didn't offer me any like 50,000 or 100,000. Like, so it's like for like five or six,
I
fuck
got
it.
$6,000 cash plus they paid for my flight and my hotel.
Like, yeah, they all did the same thing. But I was like, my mom was like just so nervous because I was like, I just might as well not do it. And also because like, in Russia, they don't like they just hate trans people in a way because it's like, um, in America, at least people are reasonable. And if you're like just a little bit reasonable and you don't make up like 98 genders and stuff, and you tell them your story, people are reasonable. But in Russia, it just like you're trans, like that's it. You're a bad person, you're horrible, and you deserve to be like killed or something. I don't know. It's like much, much more
But
tougher there.
I think in the
Even gays,
Ukraine,
like,
in the Ukraine, there's trans people, right? Sorry.
maybe, I don't know.
Hmm. I'm sure there's no trans people in China, right? So, and back to that, like I was trying to make you, I was like in 2017, I was like, I can make you a really big star because um, you were 22 at the time and just like the most stunning thing I've ever seen. And, it was very rare at that time that you actually did the whole procedure. You're not just a chick with a dick wearing a dress,
Yeah,
it's
this was, you guys have to admit, like, this was before
the big
Caitlyn
thing.
Jenner. Like this was before all of that. Because like we did that interview in 2015. We
What?
did that interview.
Yeah.
We did that interview actually in 2014.
No, I only
No,
met you in
15.
2015. So you did the interview, I think, 2016.
Are
Yeah.
you sure? Because
We
I
met
went to I
we met summer 2015.
15.
Yeah. So you
And then
probably
we
did
did
it
the
you did it early
we did the
2000.
interview in November, right?
You did it, yeah, you did it early. It was the fall, or maybe it was 2016, but it was not 2014. However,
No, I met him in 2014. Yeah. I
what year
met
did
the
you have
guy.
the full operation and where did you do it?
So I did it in San Francisco with Marcy Bowers. And by the way, she is featured in Matt Walsh's movie, What is a Woman?
Oh, she's in that movie? You watched it? I told you to watch it. What is a
I
woman?
watched it.
Did you like it?
Um, a little bit. But I
But she's
just
in the movie.
she's in the movie. Yeah.
What's her name?
Marcy Bowers. She's there as a doctor, like surgeon who actually does the surgeries.
Okay.
So she's in the movie and honestly it's just that
How much
I've
was
been
it? How much was it? Everyone wants to know that kind of stuff. Like
$25,000.
25,000, that's it?
Yeah. Back in 2014. So today it would be like inflation, like,
It'd probably be a million.
no,
Oh.
I think like 40.
Oh, not a million. Yeah, I mean, some people get it done free, don't they? I mean,
Yeah. If you do it with Medicaid,
mm.
so if you make under 16,000, the government pays for you depending on a state.
And okay, another question. I mean, people, she and we're gonna just talk forever. We love talking. We have so much stuff to cover. We're just taking
Remember we used to have like 4 hour phone
phone
calls and
calls.
stuff.
I know. Because we talk about politics too. We talk about everything. We talk about guys, sex, makeup, hair. Um, and I was really pissed that you were doing drugs because I was like, we could get a giant career going for you. And, so we're going to have these conversations very often because you're a never ending source of entertainment and fun and knowledge and stuff. There's so much to learn about you. I want to talk about your dog business. Oh, now it says I have less than a minute left and it says I have to upgrade. So let me do that.